All right, I'm here with Jeff Phillips, the owner and manager of Phillips Lawn Sprinkler. Um, so, Jeff, what exactly do you do with your business?
We sell lawn sprinklers to commercial and residential properties.
Okay. Do you also provide any services?
We repair. We provide repair services as well.
Okay. How long have you been in business?
This is our 50th year.
50th year. Has the firm progressed over time?
Yes, we've gotten larger and more profitable.
How many employees do you currently have?
We have 33 employees.
And how many trucks do you have as well?
We have 13 trucks.
13 trucks. How many different branches do you have?
We only have our one branch.
One branch, all right. And so as far as products and services that you offer, is it just sprinklers, or do you offer certain parts, or do you do repairs and installation, or?
We sell parts on a very limited basis. If someone wants to come in, we'll sell them parts. That's not really the primary part of our business. Primarily, our business is installs and repairs, and we do both, residential and commercial installs, and then we also repair.
Okay. And do you do any type of promotions or advertising? And then if you do, were they successful, or were they not?
We use the phone book. The biggest problem with the phone book is we get so many calls, we usually can't attend to any calls from the phone book. Try to only go with customers or referrals only.
Okay. And how are your products and services priced relative to your competitors?
It's hard to say, but we seem to be more expensive than our competitors.
Do you think you're given a better quality for the price?
I think we give a much better quality, but it's also reliability. And if you need us, we're still here 10 years later.
So good customer service is what you're
Good
saying.
customer service.
Is your business currently growing, declining, or is it stable? How are the sales and the profits?
I would say we're stable. We have a hard time increasing our labor force. However, last year we probably did 20% more in revenues and profit than we've ever done in 50 years. Unfortunately, we can't increase our labor force, so we can't continue to grow.
Okay, and why do you think you can't increase your labor force?
It's just difficult to find people that want to work outside when it's 100 degrees.
Okay. And you said you do residential and commercial service?
Yes.
Okay. Um, what are the business trends in your retailing sector that you're in? What are the business trends? What's trending within the company?
It's not really a trend. I mean, homeowners want sprinklers. Homeowners who can afford it want sprinkler systems so their yard is green. They want their flowers blooming and their lawns green. It's the law for most commercial establishments to have a sprinkler system because, especially in the city of Fort Worth, you have to have a certain number of trees. So to keep your trees alive, you have to water them.
Okay. And are there any new sprinkler systems that have came out that have made watering the lawn easier, or any new kinds of?
Well, they're always trying to come out with water management to help conserve water. Every year they try to come out with something different. Of course, for the millennial generation, now they have sprinklers that you control with your cell phone.
Okay. So there is new ways that you
There's
can.
always the main idea in irrigation is try to conserve water because it's a valuable natural resource, and irrigation uses a lot of it. So obviously, the more water efficient a system is, the more water it saves. So that's always the goal in irrigation, is to try to save water.
Okay. And would you say that every, I know you did say it was a law in some places in Fort Worth, but would you say that every lawn needs a sprinkler, or is it okay if people don't have a sprinkler in certain lawns? And
Every house needs a sprinkler because you need to water your foundation and be able to, in order to stabilize your house, so your foundation doesn't shift and crack your walls.
okay. For your company, what are the opportunities and threats?
Well, the obvious threat is natural, and that's drought.
Drought.
If we run into drought, we don't have enough water to use your irrigation system. If you can't use your irrigation system, you're not going to need repairs, and you're probably not going to get installs. The trend is really going water efficient. That's the biggest trend.
Okay, so you're saying yearly that your business and the profits depend on the drought and how the weather is for that year, that spring, that summer.
The drought is a negative effect on our business. However, the economy is a big effect on our business. We are our services are largely dependent upon disposable income. So
Okay.
if people are making money, they're spending money on extras such as their lawn. If they're not making money, if the stock market's down, they don't have a lot of disposable income, and their lawn is not a priority.
Okay. For opportunities, are there any opportunities you've had as a business to expand or grow larger, become more commercial?
We've been in business 50 years, and we're pretty much we don't have a niche in the industry. We do anything irrigation, residential or commercial, from a $50 repair to $1 million install. And like I said, when the stock market's up, people are spending. When it's down, they're not. And we pretty much follow whatever end of the markets is spending money at that time.
Okay. What would you say the strengths of your company are?
I think it's reputation and employees.
Employees, would you say your employees are loyal and committed to the company?
Our employees are pretty. We have 7 employees who've been with the company over 20 years. It's dependability in the employees.
So you're saying the employees kind of what make the business run?
Employees are what set us apart from other companies.
Okay. And it would be a big hit if you lost one of these employees to a competitor, correct?
It would be a huge hit.
Okay. What are the weaknesses of your company?
The weaknesses are lack of staffing, lack of available talent, and of course the economy.
Okay. The economy does fluctuate, correct though?
That is correct.
Okay. What problems and challenges do you face within the company?
Well, the biggest challenge is keeping employees happy.
Keeping them happy?
To keep your customers happy, the employees have to do that. So you have to make the employees happy, so they're going to make the customers happy. That motivates them to keep the customers happy.
Okay. And would you say it's pretty tough to keep your employees happy, since you did mention working outside in the heat when it's 100 plus in the summer all day long? Would you say personally that it's pretty hard to keep your employees happy?
33 employees means 33 different personalities. That is always going to be a challenge.
Okay. But you do solve these problems. You do have these employees happy. You do keep them happy, which I assume is why they've been around so long, correct?
We do our best. I mean, people, just like anybody else, people have their moments, but I guess overall, they're happy.
Okay. Which are there a lot of competitors in the DFW area where the company's located?
Yes. In our business, companies come and go. When the economy's good, it surges. When the economy's on a downturn, the competition thins out.
So you're saying the competition is always rising and decreasing depending on the economy, but after all the years of good and bad economies, your company has stayed the same, stayed in the game, and stayed competitive, is what you're saying.
We've stayed competitive and we've stayed in the game. We have weathered the downturns and we've really profited on the mountaintops.
All right. Would you say that your company faces direct threats from any other kind of company, or do you even worry about other competitors, or do you kind of just brush them off and focus on your own company?
You always need competition. Without competition, you'll never be better. Competition makes you be better. So you need the competition. We always worry about what they're doing and we want to make sure they're not outdoing us, but we need quality competition to make sure we stay on top of our game.
Okay. And tell me what the determinant of your price range is for a large commercial job. If you're doing a large commercial job on a site for a big courthouse or just a big irrigation project, how would you determine the price of that?
It's going to be materials, the cost of materials, plus the cost of labor, plus the cost of overhead, plus the desired profit needed in the end.
All right. And you said there's some kind of bidding for prices. Can you explain that?
There's always a bid the supply houses that supply us with our materials bid to us, and then when we bid for a project, we're bidding against other companies, and it all comes down to the price of materials are pretty similar. The price of labor can vary depending on how much you pay your employees. The profit, the bottom line is the profit. How much do you want to make to do a job? Do you want to break even with no profit, or do you want to make a nice profit? And what's the purpose of being in business? Profit is the bottom line, and that's where the difference really comes out. And with profit comes better benefits for your employees, perks, benefits, those types of things.
Okay. How do you want your customers to perceive your brand?
High quality and dependability.
High quality and dependability. So signage is what we've talked about a lot. It's the logo, how like Target has the big red bullseye. Everybody knows what their signage is. Is there any signage for your company?
We do have a logo that we've had since 1974, 75. We display that on everything we do. The logo's on our trucks, it's on our business cards, it's on our letterhead, it's on our website. Of course, we're not Coca-Cola, but yes, we do have a trademark. And it's not trademarked, but it is our logo.
Yeah. And between running all the trucks and all the machines that you have, would you say that expenses such as gas and insurance is a huge factor or just a subtle factor? Huge factor?
Yeah, the price of gasoline can vary.
Yeah.
$1 a gallon. We can go from anywhere from $70,000 in gasoline cost a year to $130,000 in gasoline cost a year. That's a $50,000 difference with the same amount of work. Obviously, that $50,000 is either a profit or it's an expense.
All right. And many people have the perception that sprinkler installation and repairs is all y'all do. Is there anything else you do besides just install and repair sprinklers? Is there anything you do around the houses or anything like that?
We do landscaping, plants, trees, and whatnot on commercial projects.
Okay.
For some of our customers, we'll do retaining walls or patios or things like that. Those are not things we pursue, but we will do things for our customers that we don't pursue.
As an added benefit, hopefully for customer loyalty.
For customers
correct?
only.
So like just grass and flower beds and trees and stuff like that is what you're saying you would do
On commercial property. projects.
Commercial?
We don't normally do residential landscaping. There's no grass or beds. Very rarely. Again, if it's a long-time customer, we would, but we don't pursue that. Only commercial.
Do you have customer loyalty within your business? Customers that have always been with you for years and years and that just keep coming back whenever they need anything done?
We have customers that have been with us for 40 years.
40 years.
We have customers that we've done the grandparents, the parents, and the kids.
So then what you're saying is your reputation is passed along by your customers.
Word of mouth, definitely.
Do you do any kind of social media advertising?
We try not to.
Okay, and why not?
Social media is a very complex and difficult thing to deal with. It's mostly a young person thing. A lot of times, young people will use social media to get leverage to not pay their bills, and we don't need that work to begin with. So we don't want to venture into that where we're getting leverage to social media. The young people have learned how to use social media to leverage against other people, and it's not worth it.
So you're saying your target market then would be probably people who are a little bit older, probably 30s or above, not younger.
Our target market are people that have heard our name and know who we are. That's our target. Due to the difficulty of expansion, due to lack of talent or employees, we're not trying to get bigger. We're trying to stay with our people that have been loyal to us.
Okay, so you're trying to ride the customers that you have and
with minimal expansion.
With minimal expansion and keep your business pretty much the same is what you're saying.
Pretty much the same. I mean, we always try to do more without getting too far outside of.
And you always want to do better, correct?
We always want to do better, and we don't necessarily want to do more. I mean, we're pretty much maxed year after year, and we're good. I mean, we make a good profit. We do a good business. We don't need to be greedy. We're not greedy. Our number one challenge is to take care of the customers that we have, which is not near as easy as it seems.
Okay, and there might be many misconceptions about sprinklers only running and being installed and being repaired in the summertime. Does that mean the winter months when it's colder outside that business is slower and that your guys kind of sit around, that you don't have much work to do? Or do you think you still maintain work throughout the colder months in the off season?
Well, we're in Texas, so the colder months are not really that cold. But yes, smaller companies that only cater to residential customers will run short of work in the winter. For our company, we do commercial jobs. We do schools, we do athletic complexes, we work for cities. So we don't slow down like that. We stay. The work may slow, but we're still working 6 days a week all the way through the wintertime. We're just not as far behind in the wintertime.
Just not as far behind. All right. Is there any kind of issues you have within the higher up part of the company, within management? Is there any management issues you have throughout the company that you feel that you can't ever solve?
We're not really management heavy. We're a small family-owned business. The biggest problem in management is my father owns the business and runs it, but I do all the work and I make all the decisions, and it gets to be a clash.
Okay. So you're saying within the family that you butt heads.
Family and business is a rough go.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for coming out and answering some of the questions I had, and I really appreciate it.
You're quite welcome.